first side.
Well, hello, Mr. White.
Hello, Mrs.
Good
Angel.
morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, fabulous. Thank you for asking.
It's a way to be.
What's going on?
Exciting time of year. Oh, there's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yep.
So much going
Flying
on.
by, as we said.
Flying by, it is, yes. And term 4, as we spoke about in the last few episodes, it does go by very quickly. A lot of stuff on. Where am I? What our year 12s are having the last couple of days of classes at the moment, so they're all dressed up. They have a dress-up theme for the last couple of days of classes. So
Is there a dress up in a certain theme or just dress up crazy?
Yeah, there's a theme for each day. I'm not sure what today. Not sure what it was. There were It clowns. You know, It's from Stephen King's It. There was a dinosaur. Yeah, a dinosaur carrying. You know those blow up things where it looks like the people are carrying dinosaurs carrying the person. The jockey, like those ones. But there was a dinosaur. It was really cool. And there were a bunch of kids on roller skates, not roller blades, roller skates.
Oh, who did the risk assessment for that one?
Well, I was thinking, that's all right. No worries. You're only 2 weeks away from sitting down writing 3 essays in 3 hours. You don't need a wrist. You can afford a broken wrist right about now.
Or actually, if they had a broken wrist, we all know that then there would be there would be some sort of assistance. Maybe it's Genius.
Scribe. Yes, it might have been Genius. Yes, actually. I'll take it back.
If you're a grade 12 student out there or you've got a stressed grade 12 student worried about writing, just get them to rollerblade, roller skate, whatever they need to do to break 2 wrists. It won't have any other effects in the rest of their life. It'll be great. No. Don't contemplate the butt wiping. Just go with it. We've just had a brilliant idea. And let us know how it goes.
I've been there. I've been with the butt wiping thing is real. It really is challenging. But yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Don't worry about schoolies. Don't worry about all the other fun stuff and summer and stuff. You don't need wrists for the foreseeable future.
No.
Actually.
And then there's obviously the lifelong issues that you might have with your wrists.
Try and make it a clean break, an uncomplicated break, if you can.
I hope everyone's writing this down. We are here to help.
We are joking.
Changing lives, one broken wrist at a time. Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. And it's got to be end of year, getting close to announcing who is the winning house if the grade 12s are leaving soon.
Oh, don't. I feel triggered. Unbelievable. This was announced on last week, earlier this week, and I am head of one of the 4 houses, and for those regular listeners will know, I do not like Andrews very much because they constantly win, and I'm convinced that there is some underhanded tactics being used, but
sounds very Andrews to me.
Andrews.
They're the type.
They're funny looking.
Putting it out there.
They're smelly and yes. And so it came up to the last 2 houses were to be announced. The 4th was announced. It wasn't us. It wasn't Andrews. 3rd was announced. It wasn't us. It wasn't Andrews.
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans at the top, and it turned out that Andrews saluted, and I wasn't very happy. Still, I'm not happy. I'm not going to get over it, to be honest.
No. It's hard to come back from it. And I'm assuming that the students didn't know how disappointed you were. They looked to their leader, and you showed resilience, you showed poise.
Grace in defeat. Yes, all of these things. These things. After about a minute. Yes, I did. It took me a few moments to compose myself after the disappointment and, frankly, shock, because I thought we were in with a really good chance. But it wasn't to be this year. There is always next year. But honestly, ABA, anyone but Andrews.
That's good. I'd call for a recount. It actually sounds very much like a certain election just recently, and maybe a certain country had something. I mean, I don't want to get too political, but I feel like there could be something very underhanded.
I was accused of keeping some files in folders in my holiday house in Miami. There were a few things that happened.
Yep.
But we're not going to.
Well, I'm sorry. I knew that you're in your tenure. You've had an amazing win ratio yourself. You really bought your house back to challenge Andrew. So there's always next year.
There is always next year, and house competition's awesome, and schools that do it well get a lot out of it, and we do it well. It's great.
Well done to you and your fellow heads of house. It is all about culture, getting people excited, getting kids to care, getting other staff to care about that house spirit. So you're walking the talk, Mr. White. Well done.
That's good fun. What have you been up to?
I have been out and about, actually. I have been spreading the good word of Mastery Schools. We have a great relationship with the University of Queensland, which just happens to be your alumni university. And I was invited to go and speak at a panel at that university. I was able to talk about Mastery Schools and also this podcast, which was great. I got to meet some fans, Mr. White.
Yeah, fans.
Some fans. They were super excited to get to come up and say hi, and said that they love listening to the stories, and encouraged us to keep it coming. Told some great stories of their own, which was great. I met some very interesting educators from Burma and Chile, and also from Serbia, which was absolutely fascinating to hear. So they have done their master's degrees in their home country and have come to Australia for a number of different reasons, and was able to hear some stories about their teaching careers in their home countries. And it was fascinating. So fascinating. So keep those stories coming, and hopefully we'll be able to record some of those in coming episodes so we can really start to spread into all of the everywhere across the world is what we're looking to do, to hear about those amazing teaching stories and teaching impact.
Yes, I'm always very interested to hear about how other countries do it. It really is interesting, just the difference in the cultural sort of aspects, but just also the logistics of the way they run education and how it all works. Just looking at a different way. I think we should do a bit more of that. I think we should look at what we're doing, and then look at how other countries are doing it, other areas are doing it, and take the best bits.
Absolutely. That's exactly. And so we would love, please, if you are listening from a different country right now, we would love you to reach out. We want to hear about how you do things. We want to hear about your best bits. We want to hear your teaching tip. We want to hear, what are you laughing at?
Your best bits. Tell us all about your best bits. Yep.
Tell us your best bits. We don't want to hear about the bits that don't work. Just tell us the best bits.
Yeah.
It's a short podcast, so we've only got time, and we're teachers. We don't have time to hear the bad bits. We just want to hear the good bits.
Good bits.
That's what we're all about, focusing on that.
Positivity.
And it was so lovely to be on this panel. And the last question that was asked was, why did you get into teaching? How do you stay motivated? Oh, my bread and butter. It was so good to get to talk about that, and also to hear the other people on the panel to talk about their best bits and how they keep that fire burning and keep on waking up in the morning and thriving rather than surviving. So important for university students to be able to hear those stories and hear those best bits, the little tips and tricks to be able to allow you to have a really long and successful career rather than that short sparkle fizz that we heard in one of our recent episodes from the great Sarah McDonald, that she had a very short sparkly career, and she's gone on to have a second career now. But it is important to me that we are trying to play the long game and looking after all aspects of your life so that you can thrive in all aspects.
Absolutely, you're right, and that's got to start at, if not before, then definitely at university, where you're learning to be a teacher. It should definitely be part of what to expect. Because I remember I did a dip ed back in the day, and I remember being surprised by how much I didn't know on the first day I was teaching. And that's probably true of every profession, but someone could have warned me. Someone could have told me what's going on here. I was very good at a lot of stuff, but some stuff I was just not prepared for at all. And maybe discussion and openness and sharing stories is a good way to combat that. We should make a podcast dedicated to that, Mrs. Angel.
Oh,
what do you think?
That's a great idea.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
Okay, well, let's spitball it, and we'll let me think about it a bit and what we could put in it. But in the meantime, should we just tell like a nice story or something? Just like a magic. We could call it a magical moment or something.
That's good. We should use that as a title of the segment.
Are you writing this down?
I'm writing it down. That's very good.
Great. Fabulous. Magical moment. That was just my inner monologue, just a little inner voice there, just thinking, and we could maybe make a little ditty like that. So magical moment today it's a little bit different. All right. I want to let everyone know that it's not just Mr. White and I who care about teachers and love teachers and think teachers are amazing. There is this thing that I want everybody to be aware of. It is called the Global Teacher Prize. So the Whitey Foundation have made this Global Teacher Prize, and there is a $1 million award, US dollars, that is presented to an exceptional teacher who has made an outstanding contribution to their profession. This happens each year, has been happening since 2013. So I want to tell you a little bit more about it. And we've got some Aussies in the top 50 who are absolutely exceptional educators. So basically the Global Teacher Prize serves to underline the importance of educators and the fact that throughout the world, their efforts deserve to be recognised and celebrated. It seeks to acknowledge the impacts of the very best teachers, not only on their students, but on the communities around them. And so why teachers? They recognise, the Whitey Foundation recognise that an inadequate education is a major factor behind the social, political, economic and health issues faced by the world today. They believe that education has the power to reduce poverty, prejudice and conflict. Teachers work tirelessly to provide an education for children around the world so that the status of teachers is critically important to our global future. So teacher status has a significant impact on recruitment, retention, job satisfaction and performance. And so in 2013, the Whitey Foundation commissioned Populous, the leading research and strategy consultancy, to gather in-depth opinions from 21 countries to explore attitudes about the teaching profession. And the results have been published. So you can look at the Whitey Foundation Global Teacher Status Index. And in many countries, it was found that the profession status had dropped, and the findings shocked Sunny Whitey, who is the chairman of the Whitey Foundation, and both of his parents were teachers, and he founded the Global Teacher Prize as a response with the aim of raising the profession's profile.
Right.
And it's pretty fabulous. We have interviewed one of the top 10 Global Teacher Prize close to winners, but he was in the top 10. So Mr. Eddie Wu was in the top 10 back in 2018. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit today about two of the Aussies who are in the top 50. So I'm going to tell you just about one today, and I'll tell you a bit about the other one next. So we have two in the top 50. Ian Preston. So he's from Murrumbidgee Regional High School in Griffith, New South Wales, and our other Aussie finalist is Brendan Kenner. But I'm going to tell you about Brendan on a different episode. So Ian Preston, he was born to parents with little formal education past primary school level, and as the first and only person in his immediate family to study years 11 and 12, he initially went to work in a bank before applying to the University of Newcastle, which is 700 kilometres from home, to study industrial arts teaching in 1987. This was paid for through his limited savings and jobs, including, honestly, can't even work a phone. That's me. That's not Ian. Paid for through his limited savings. So working night shifts in a petrol station, driving a truck, delivering steel all around New South Wales during university breaks, and working in an abattoir doing a wide range of unpleasant tasks. Whereas others would have given up, he didn't. Early in his career, he pioneered telematics in regional New South Wales, establishing the innovative Lachlan Access Program, LAP, providing access to years 11 and 12 for students from small rural communities who previously had to travel from home to access their final 2 years of secondary education. And almost 30 years after its establishment, the LAP still operates today. That's some legacy right there, providing educational equity and access to rural and remote students, enabling a generation of students to remain in their community to complete their secondary education, which has a significant impact socially and economically. That's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
In 2020, he began researching the concept of using his previous experiences to deliver STEM enrichment to students, culminating in the establishment and implementation of the New South Wales Virtual STEM Academy, providing STEM enrichment to rural, regional, and remote students through engaging game-based software. This has grown from its initial trial involving 8 students in 2021 to 253 students in 2022 and a projected 500 students in 2023.
Wow.
That's growth for you.
Yes.
Program reach has evolved from all students from 4 schools in one town to currently 27 schools from all corners of New South Wales, as well as international students. So Indigenous and female students are targeted by the program with participation rates of 20% and 49% respectively. Due to the success of the New South Wales Virtual Schools program, Ian is now working with a small group of colleagues to implement the Australian Virtual STEM Academy. This man has got vision. Ian has been involved in significant curriculum development in New South Wales and has a long history of his students achieving at the highest levels, both academically and in sporting teams, with students ranked in the top bands in the HSC for engineering studies, computing and industrial technology. And his student teams have won the Australian Aeronautical Velocity Challenge in both planes and bottle rockets. His proudest career achievement in his history of providing educational excellence, access and equity to students from disadvantaged rural and regional and remote communities. As a highly accomplished transformational educational leader with proven experience in implementing and nurturing innovative STEM educational programs, Ian has made significant contributions to regional, state, national and international STEM education programs, recognised in 2021 with an Excellence in Teaching Award from the New South Wales Education Minister. In 2022, he was awarded the prestigious Commonwealth Bank Teaching Fellowship for his work establishing the Australian and New South Wales Virtual STEM Academies, and the 2022 Premier's Prize for Innovation in Science, Technology, Engineering and or Mathematics Teaching in New South Wales. Can we please give a massive, massive round of applause for the exceptional Ian Preston?
Wow.
So
How
I guess
amazing.
I want...
Amazing.
He is amazing. And you know what? He's just like you and me, though. He's just like all of the teachers listening right now. You've got a vision for your students, and then you get something off the ground working for 8 kids. And then you think, how can I make this bigger? And then how can I do that? And then how can I make this bigger? And then how can I have more of an impact and more of an impact? And it starts in the classroom, though, and trying to solve a problem for the student sitting in front of you there and then. And I think he is the epitome of the story of an Aussie battler. He was, first in family to go to university, and he's very, very
year 11 and 12, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Very cool. And now he's in the top 50 in the Global Teacher Prize, and well deserved.
Well
and
done,
I
Ian.
think,
wow.
I guess that's a magical moment. Those kids are having a magical moment in his class, and then he scaled that up and scaled that up and scaled that up. So
Amazing.
think big, teachers. And I know that he's super proud to be named in this top 50, as he should be. Yeah. And we'll tell Brendan Kenner's story as well in the coming weeks as well, so we can be further inspired by him.
Wonderful. Isn't technology just giving us an absolute, a whole new horizon of how to grow things and how to develop things, particularly in the sphere of education? I mean, to develop STEM and get the projects and the programs all going, and to give that software or get that software available to other people. Most people have access now, and I know not everyone, and we need to make that more. But just what we can do with technology now is just amazing. And really the only limitation is, like you said, the vision and acting on it, because, without acting on the vision, it's just a dream. So, It's amazing.
It's the vision, it's the energy, it's the drive that I guess teachers come in with this moral purpose. It's the only profession where it really, it's a calling. So all teachers have got that moral purpose and drive. That's why you chose teaching. So I guess everybody's got the recipe there. It's just whether or not you want to go out and do it and have that massive impact on a scale, not just in your classroom, but beyond it.
And a lot of that is about innovation and seeing not being, bounded by the way things are, but by, focusing very, very much on the way things could be, which it sounds trite, but it's it's really difficult to see outside the paradigm in which we operate, and to keep, an open mind and look at the possibilities rather than the barriers.
Yeah.
To consistently do that and to meet every challenge along the way. I mean, growing from, 5 students to over 500 projectors
in a couple
of years.
Yeah.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
Now he's top 50 world teachers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do we know when this is announced? Do we know when the ceremony is?
Yep. So the winner of the $1 million US is on the 8th of November.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being announced in France, in Paris this year. So there will be a shortlist from that top 50 to a top 10 announced at some stage in the coming month or so. And then there will be the announcement at the Global Teachers Forum, is obviously being held in France this year. I've been to the Global Teachers Forum. I got to be there when Eddie Wu was announced as a top 10 finalist. We got to bask in his glow.
Wow, and you were glowing quite well as well, and continue to.
It was amazing to be there and get to just celebrate an Aussie. And he didn't come home with the biscuits, but it was the Global Teacher, the Vaki Foundation know how to treat teachers, not just Australians, teachers across the world as absolute rock stars.
Awesome.
So they have all of the celebrities come along to the Global Teacher Forum to celebrate teachers and to talk about the impact that teachers have. Awesome. So if anybody can ever get to the Global Teachers Forum, I absolutely recommend it. There's amazing speakers, cutting edge, great stories, and you'll walk away feeling very bolstered about this amazing profession that we're all a part of.
Brilliant. Well, Ian, we are right behind you. What an amazing effort you've put in and continue to put in, and all the best. Absolutely.
Good stuff.
We're right behind you. How good's that?
Well, you know what? It's only going to be trumped that high from the Wisecrack. That Mr. White, he's been writing emails to the producer and I, letting us know how outrageously funny this Wisecrack is this week. I cannot personally wait. Get ready to rumble. Here we go.
Whitey's Weekly Wisecracks. What do you got, Mr. White?
I need to preface firstly, before I get into the Wisecrack, how unfair it is that you are comparing the bar. You're letting me try and hurdle the bar set
US
by
$1 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay. Well, look, I'm just saying it's a challenge, but I'll have a crack.
Excellent.
Okay. Now, this happened yesterday. I teach geography, and I was talking to my year 11s about tourism. So, Unit 2 of geography course in the VCE is on tourism. Mm-hmm. We're going to the zoo next week. As part of that is a study of tourism. We're looking at the way in which the zoo facilitates tourists, and the interplay there, and the way it's all set up. And we were talking about zoos, why they exist, and how that has changed over time, and the way everything works. I said, now, to start a zoo, you need to have 2 pandas, a grizzly, and a polar, because that's the bare minimum. Hey, and I followed it up. Hey, I followed it up with a double giggle. I like that.
Carry on.
I followed it up with one that is probably more well-known, sort of a gag, is where you say, I went to a horrible zoo once. It only had a single dog. It was a Shih Tzu. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's one of my personal favourites right there.
And look, so as I said, I'm going to the zoo next week, and if anyone has a zoo-related gag that I could drop, while
Send
on
it through.
field work and while on field trips. Send it through. I'm a big
How
fan
many hours
of
are you going to be there? How many do we need?
all day. I'm going to need a lot. I usually don't struggle for material, but we've got a 40-minute bus ride, and then we're there for 6 hours, and then 40 minutes back. So I've got a bit of time to fill. So if you've got some zoo-related gags, send them through. Puns, I'm big on. I like a pun. Clearly,
Excellent.
yes. All right.
Thank you, Mr. White. You were right. It was a good one. It was a good one. And we can hear the debrief of the zoo trip in coming times as well, which will be great.
Happy to share.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I've got a doozy for you.
Yes.
For a teaching tale. Here we go.
Tale. Very good.
Teaching tales. Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Maybe one of the best that has been sent through.
Ooh.
Just putting it out there.
Wow. The bar is high this week.
This is a story about Johnny. Johnny, fabulous kid. Neurodiverse student. So he's always been trying to work out friendships. He's been trying to work out how to make other kids laugh. Sometimes the other kids laugh and he just doesn't understand what makes them tick. Has a lot of self-confidence, which is fantastic, but has never quite cracked the code of how to make other kids laugh. Johnny is lactose intolerant, but he's fighting the system. Has been packing cheese sticks unbeknownst to his mum. He's in class. Johnny feels a bit of a rumble in his tummy, and he farts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a loud one, and all of the other kids laugh. And
it's a correct response.
Exactly. I mean, farts are funny, but Johnny has never really realized that farts are funny and hasn't realized that. So Johnny has now realized, to fart is to get a laugh. So to fart I will. So throughout the rest of the day, Johnny is continuing to force a fart, and the kids laugh and they laugh and they laugh. So at the end of the day, the teacher pulls Johnny aside and he says to Johnny, hey, no more. This is not okay. And Johnny explains, hey, well, the kids love it. They're loving the material. So it's been explained that it's actually making it a very disruptive environment. And Johnny does care about this, and it's wonderful with his neurodiversity. He's you're unpacking this for me. No, I do care about learning as well. So the agreement is that he will go outside to fart. Because then he did explain that it's a natural body a natural body movement, and if he holds it in, he actually will die. And have you read the research on holding in a fart? And it's really important to fart. It's a natural. Right, Johnny, you're just going to go outside to fart. You read
the research.
Johnny's read the research on everything. So the next day comes. The teacher reminds Johnny, remember what we talked about yesterday. If you need to go, I'm not going to make you die and hold it in. You can go outside to fart. Right from the start, Johnny's public announcement, Miss, I need to fart. Just don't tell it. So the kids are laughing, ha, 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 ha. And he goes, oh, this is good. I'm going outside. I still got their attention. He goes outside to fart, comes back in. Very soon after, he decides he wants to laugh again. Miss, I need to fart. The kids are, ha, 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 and he goes outside. But this time, it's too soon. He didn't need to fart. But he knows that he does what he says and he says what he does.
Yes.
So he's outside and fart he does. Mm-hmm. But he pushed a little bit too hard and little Johnny followed through.
Yes.
No, not yes. Not yes.
Not yes.
Not yes. So that didn't feel really good. So the texture of that spectacular movement wasn't great. And Johnny then shuffled down around about the 10 meters to the administration front desk, dropped his pants to his ankles because he didn't like the feeling, and let the office staff at the desk know, I have pooed my pants. There was luckily no other parents apparently in the foyer, but the front desk got a full exposure of Tommy's little misdemeanor, and then obviously chaos, Johnny's misdemeanor, and chaos ensued.
Yes.
So to that teacher, thank you for teaching Johnny a lesson, but I'm sorry to the people at that front desk who had to experience that. But what a story for little Johnny and for all of the teachers in that school. That is a barbecue story right there.
That is a barbecue story. That's exactly what it is.
That's a barbecue story.
Yes.
So thank you very much for sending that one in. We need more of that kind of material, people.
Well told,
please.
Mrs. Angel. That was good.
Send it through. It's like it was a personal story.
Almost.
So good, so good, so good. Gosh, honestly, terrible day when that happens. But what a story, right? What bankers get to tell that story?
No, very rarely. Very rarely. How many lawyers get to tell that sort of story?
Somebody poo their pants in a banking office. Exactly.
Goodness. But
all right.
But part of you must have been thinking, even at the time, this is going to be a great story. even when you're dealing with what you're dealing with, in the back of your mind, it must be like, I've got a winner here.
That's one for the ages. Exactly. They're thinking, I can't wait for a podcast to open up and be calling for teaching tales because I've got a doozy for that podcast. So
it's made for it.
Yes.
This podcast is a good idea. I reckon we should go with it.
We should do it. Let's do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's just do it. Let's jump right in.
Do it.
So what we are going to also do if we were to do a podcast is we should talk about how to prop each other up. Maybe we could call it spiraling upwards or something like that. What do you think?
Hey, that's a good title.
What's the question that we could talk about today then?
There's a fair bit of AI around artificial intelligence sort of stuff. Maybe something around that.
That's a great idea because that's a time saver for teachers.
Ooh, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Workload.
Workload. And so I have been hesitant with AI, not because I don't believe in it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I want to get on board, but I'm scared.
Oh.
I'm scared to dip my toe in. I'm scared to, I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm scared of. But the good thing is the teachers at my school are not scared. They're fabulous. And they obviously really care about their workload and they're using it. And it's making a massive difference with reducing their workload. So there's a lot of using Chat GPT, obviously, to write things, to write unit plans. And so there's a lot of that happening. There's a lot of they're using it to write assessments. Another AI tool that we're using is Smart AI. Smart AI is writing little formative assessments as well as big assessments. In particular, we're using it for that. And what the producer of this show has done is he has turned that little Johnny story. We were wondering if we can make little videos, use AI to create videos of these teaching tales.
If there's one thing that little Johnny story needs, it's visual representation.
Absolutely. So it was spectacular. So you don't write that whole script. You've got a couple of key dot points. And so maybe you're typing in maybe 30 to 40 words in there about short little sentences of what happened. You click go. It generates the pictures to match up with the story that you're telling. It generates a script to match up. It then picks a voice to then read that script. And then it creates a little video to tell that story. So if you're talking about engaging for your students to turn something into pictures, I heard a story last night at the UQ panel that there's some AI technology where you can type in a story and then a picture is immediately generated of whatever you've written. So then you're able to look at the picture based off the story that you've written. And is that the picture that you were trying to create in the reader's head? Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to modify the story to see if that picture now changes based on what I've just put in my story.
Brilliant.
How amazing.
That's amazing. What's the program called?
I don't know, but I'll find it out for you, okay?
Come on. Okay.
Yes.
That is amazing. That really is amazing. I'm doing creative writing at the moment with my year 7s.
All right, I'm going to find it out for you. It's
Yeah,
so
awesome.
the Dean of Teaching and Learning from the Brisbane School of Distance Education was the person who talked about that. So I'm going to reach out to him and find out what that is. And he
top
just said it
shelf.
was a spectacular learning moment for those students. But I guess my advice is just start to dabble. Start to dabble and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And
sorry to cut you off, but
go. So how have you used it?
I remain disappointed with the initial fear, the reaction of initial fear in education about what this is going to do. Because people will say, students will cheat and they're not creating their own work. And well, this is why we have handwritten exams under test conditions.
Exactly.
This isn't something new. We already have the infrastructure to protect it against. But they can write their essays at home. Yeah, well, that's true. But they could also get their tutor to write their essay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're teaching them, so get them to write, they have to write their plan under test conditions at school, and then they go home and write it. There are ways around it. There are always ways around it. I've used ChatGPT a fair bit, and I like using it for formal. I get the ChatGPT to write a formal essay on a particular topic, and then we apply a criteria sheet to it, and we rip it apart. We say how it's rubbish, and it does a number of things. Firstly, it's a really good way of saying, okay, well, you can see what they're trying to do here with this introduction, but it's missing this element, or, you don't need this sentence, or, little things like that you can critique it on. But students start realizing that, okay, you've asked ChatGPT to write this essay, and you're actually grading it at about a CC+. Yeah, that's right. And that's if it scans properly. That's if it's on topic. That's if all the other parameters are in line. It's actually, it's really good as a model on which to reflect, teaching and say what is wrong with it and what could be better about it. Yeah. So I use it and I give it to students and then ask them, okay, well, how would you improve this? Yeah. What's wrong with it? The topic sentence is too long. Yeah, good, awesome. Right, it doesn't cut to the chase quick enough. It's a formal essay. You need to get to the point really quickly. Awesome. It's such a great learning. But that's only one use.
That's awesome. That's so good.
So many different things you can do with it. Yeah. And like I said, I was really disappointed with the general feeling about most people in education. Yeah. It was negative.
Just a fear response initially.
And I maintain also that it's not like AI is not going to take over the world, and it's going to be it's not going to take jobs. It's going to be the people who can use AI.
Yes,
are going to benefit.
Because it's limited by what you put into it. Exactly. It's only as good as the prompts that you give it.
That's right.
So the thing with the video that in the little Johnny story, we started with maybe 20 words. I'm like, oh no, well that video hasn't captured this moment in the story, and so you add another couple of extra words in there. So you build up your 20 word up to 50 words, and then it's actually captured what the story really was. So we're going to release that on our socials. So follow us on Facebook or Insta, so you can have a look at that. And you can purchase a subscription, and it gets rid of the watermark, or what difference? It doesn't matter that there's a watermark on there. Yeah. The point you're trying to make for your kids is that you can turn this into a storyline, and you can get creative with it. And you can see it. And yes, absolutely. And it's so engaging, which is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
So get involved.
I'm a big fan of it. Actually, we could talk about this forever, really. I listened to a podcast interview with Sam Altman, who is CEO of OpenAI, that created ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. And he's brilliant. And one of the questions asked to him was, what were you surprised by? If you could go back 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, what are you surprised by with what AI is doing? And he said, well, and this aligns with what I thought. He thought that AI was going to take over first. It was going to take over the more structured step-by-step jobs or step-by-step tasks. Let's call it tasks. Mm-hmm. The more structured, simple, step-by-step sort of stuff. But what we're using it for is far more creative than that.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've literally told it some words. It is filling in the backstory.
Yes.
So it's amazing and completely, I think, unpredictable how creative it is proving to be.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. I think that's more a reflection of us and how creative humans are. But
Yes.
I think we're surprised by that, and I think it's affirming that we are creative beings because we created AI, and that's what it's spitting back to us.
It's exciting. It is exciting times. And so I hope that others, if I am turning my original kind of fear, I didn't have a fear around how the kids were going to, well, actually, if I had a fear, I was worried that the kids would leave me behind and I wouldn't understand it. I wouldn't know how to use it. But it's so simple to use, and your first creation doesn't have to be your last creation. And I can definitely see that this is going to be an extreme time saver for teachers and highly engaging for students as well. So get involved.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to hear what some of your creations are and what you're using and how you're using it as well.
Yeah. It's
spread the word.
As fun as it is powerful as well. It is fun.
And because we only want to hear the good bits. Remember? We're just sharing the good bits.
There's the good bits. All the good bits. That's right.
All the good bits. That's right. All right. Well, that's about all we've got time for. Hey, there's a lot of grade 12s who are heading into their external exams over the next couple of weeks. So want to give a big shout out to all of the students who are heading into those big moments. And we wish you the very, very best. Remember, a single exam doesn't define your life.
No. And
you are more than these exams that you're about to sit, but you've also got this as well. Trust your preparation. Yeah. You've got it. Your teachers have set you up well, and back yourself.
Back yourself. Absolutely. Back yourself. And you're exactly right. These exams don't define you, but they're an opportunity for you. But there are plenty of opportunities around the corner as well.
Absolutely. All right. We will say farewell and wish our teacher friends the very best for the coming week, and we will catch you all next week.
Love your work.
See you later, Mr. White.
See you later, Mrs. Angel. Bye, everyone.
Bye.